Okay, so the party is split up, and Kenny, you are going to Gaochun to deal with Scholar Han. So I'm going to need a survival roll, but before I get that, can you roll me 2d10 and add them together?
7.
Okay. All right. All right. Can you make a survival roll now?
4.
Oh. All right. Well, that certainly puts a little bit of a delay in things. All right. Now I guess roll again 2d10 and add them together for me.
8.
I don't know if this is good or bad for you. Let's see.
This is the start of the first of 4 deaths, but we see playing out one after another.
Could be, could be. All right, so Gaochun. Ooh. All right. All right, so Kenny, you see 5 constables and an official walking towards you, and they can see you.
Military officials or
They look. I know it looks like a sheriff.
okay. Um, I keep walking towards them. I'll just unless they address me, I'm gonna walk past them.
Okay. All right. So they draw their crossbows, and the person leading says halt.
To me, Hulk just sounds like a starter pistol.
Yeah. I'm gonna glance at him to show that I've heard him and keep walking.
All right. What's your detect, Kenny?
2d10, 3d10 with sight.
All right. Number one, this is not necessarily relevant to anything, but you do believe this is a woman disguised as a man,
Yeah.
the sheriff. And they start chasing after you in that case.
I'm not even running. I'm just strolling past them at a
You just
leisurely
walk.
pace.
Okay,
Yeah.
they briskly walk up to you then.
After like 20 seconds, I was stopping like, "Did you need something?"
She examines a long wanted poster that seems to have your likeness on it, and she says, "Chin Wuji."
That is I.
She says, "I must bring you in."
I'll look pensive for a second and say, "No, I don't think so."
Make a speed roll.
Yeah. I got a 9 and a 3, so 9 at the highest.
9 at the highest. All right.
How many of them are there? I didn't even check.
5 constables and a sheriff. You get to go first.
Alright. 5 constables and the sheriff. So I think I'm just going to do a cathartic storming needles. So I'm Chi rank 5. That's 15 needles. When it says on a success, you throw 3 extra needles, right? So does that mean it's 1 plus 3 extra needles, or just
You're doing storming needles?
yeah?
Let me just double check it. I want to just make sure I'm doing it right for on a success you can throw 3 extra needles per rank of chi. So what's your
So,
question?
Am I throwing 1 plus 3 extra needles per rank of chi, or am I just doing 3 needles per rank of chi? So am I doing 9 or 10 needles if I was
It's
chi rank?
1 plus 3
Okay.
per rank of chi.
So I'm throwing 16 needles basically at chi rank
Yeah.
5 then basically.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Are you doing cathartically?
Yes.
And what poison is it coated with?
Oh, I think these are just generic sleeping ones. Actually, I'm not sure how fast acting it is though.
Okay.
Do I know the sort of the time lag between applying the poison and them feeling it?
Yeah, you know that this
You
takes.
used it on me before
Yeah.
through food.
Yeah.
Right.
Is it like in terms of like seconds or minutes?
They might still be able to get some attacks on you if that's what you.
Yeah, yeah. That's fine. So light melee against evade. Got a 8 against evade.
All right, that is going to hit.
And I'm doing so. There's 6 people, so I can. I'm gonna do 3 on each of the constables and 1 on the sheriff.
Okay. All right, so everybody gets hit. Does that do normal damage, or is it just the?
Yeah, it just does normal damage.
Okay, can you roll for damage? This is where the.
Needles have a special rule, don't they? It's 0d10 plus it's plus 1d10 per needle.
Yes.
So it's 2d10 per person. Do I roll once, or do you want me to roll it separately for this? For sake of expediency, should I just do all the constables at the?
Do the constables and the sheriffs separate. That's an easy way to do it.
We got 10 and a 2. 10.
Was that on the constables?
Yes.
All right. And what about the sheriff?
It's 0d10. 0d10 on the sheriff, so I'm just probably not
Kenny?
gonna... Yeah.
So is it 3d10 minus 1d10? Or-
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
It's 0. Each needle does 0d10, but each additional needle you throw does plus 1d10 up to the
Right,
cap.
I see.
I got a 4 at the lowest, so it's 0d10 is the lowest, right? Yeah, so a 4 at the lowest.
All right. So all the constables drop, and she attacks you with her blade, and gets a 9. She's using a Xian.
That's gonna hit.
All right. What's the damage on her thing?
Do you try countering?
Sure, I'll try a whirling dodge because why not? It's free, technically. I'll do a regular whirling dodge on it. Is regular okay, or do I have to do it cathartically?
If you do it regular, then it just reduces the damage.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like for chi rank purposes, do I need to am I forced to do it cathartically or not?
No.
Athletics against attack. I got 9 at the highest and a 6.
Oh, okay. So you whirling dodge out of the way.
It's not cathartic though, so it's just minus 1d10 on the damage roll.
All right. So you kind of evade a little bit and shave off some of the force. What's your hardiness?
8.
Okay. All right. So you actually don't take any damage, and it's your turn.
I'm just gonna say to her, "Are you really going to waste my time with this?"
She starts backing off, and she looks over at her companion. She says, "Do you have an antidote?"
8 hours of rest and they'll be fine. 8 hours of sleep.
She says, "Very well. Be on your way."
I'll nod and say, "Have a good day," and keep going.
All right, and you make it into Gaochun. What do you want to do when you get there?
I don't know. I don't know. Switch to someone else for that.
Assassination!
Okay, all right, you need more time. All right, so Adam, you are following the directions to Supreme Master Tung's brother, correct? Oh, I think you're on mute.
Correct. Yes, I am.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
You're on mute, or correct? You're following the, or both?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Yeah. Yeah. It was Tung Lu. Was that his name?
Yeah, the Tung Lu family. So you're sort of on your way to their homestead. Now, before you get there, I do need the same thing that I got from Kenny, which is I need you to roll 2d10 for me and add them together.
A 9.
All right. Okay. And then I just need a survival roll.
Right. Survival. Okay. I got 2 10s.
Oh, all right. So you swiftly make it to a homestead in the countryside, and you see fields and trees surrounding the house, and off in the distance you can see a man plowing, and you just have to pass through an orchard to get there.
Okay. I'll go up to the guy that's plowing.
All right. Okay. So all right. He stops what he's doing, and he looks at you as you approach.
Would you be Tung Lu?
He says, "Yes. Who are you?"
I am Ping, just a simple beggar, but I have had some bad encounters with your brother.
Ah, my brother. He is no good. What do you want with me?
It's not so much what I want, but what I have to offer. I have the manual of his techniques, and I would be happy to share them with you, as I know you oppose them.
So I'm sorry, just paying attention to the side discussion.
Yeah, okay.
Steve heard you say plowing and it broke him.
I noticed that. I was very aware of that
It
going
wasn't
on.
him saying it that broke me, it was your gestures that broke me.
So I'm sorry. What were you saying, Adam?
Yes, I have a copy of the Dragon Tooth manual, and I thought it might be of use to you.
Well, I would probably destroy it if you give it to me.
If that is what you wish to do with it, I hand it to him.
He says, "Was there anything else?"
Well, I'd be interested if you have anything that you wish to do against your brother. My friends and I would be happy to assist you.
He says, "My brother is too far down the path that he's gone. I am just waiting for him to meet the demise that is naturally coming to him."
I see. Well, we'll see. He might hurt a lot of people along the way.
Has he? Who has he been harming?
He was very cruel to a poor friend of mine. Drunken Boris Sword is his name.
He says, "I have heard of this man. I don't see why I should leap to his aid."
Well, I really can't find a good argument to that.
If this meta, unfortunately, yeah. Why has he heard of me? Because if he's got a coloured opinion, it may be because he heard of what I was doing under the influence of a drunken ogress.
That's true. But
which also would align with going against his brother, because his brother was trying to promote me being the drunken ogress and that whole stuff.
That's true. But yeah, I don't know how I'm going to take that angle of argument. But yeah, I will ask. So what have you heard about him?
I have heard a great many bad things about this man. I have heard he is a terrible father. I have heard that he is terrible husband, and that he is part of a nefarious criminal organization that he married into. But what's worse is he is rumored to be murdering innocent couples before their marriage day in Lifan.
Oh, I hadn't heard about that myself. I only know him as an ally in an attempt to overthrow the emperor. But,
why would you befriend this man?
Why? I wish to see the emperor dealt with, and I've been trying to achieve allies in that goal.
He says, "Well, this man deserves execution, not an alliance. But if you fight against the Emperor, I may be willing to help with that.
Excellent.
Just promise him he can execute me, and then he'll join.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking of that actually. Yes. At the moment, we have had some setbacks, but it's good to know we still have people we can depend on in this regard. If you are willing to aid with our efforts, I will contact you again once we have a more concrete plan on how to move forward.
He says, "This sounds good. How will I know it's you?"
How will you know it's me? I will come myself.
He says, "Very well. If you need a place to stay, you're welcome to stay at my home for the night."
Thank you. Your generosity is appreciated.
And is that a yes, Adam, or is that a was that what you just saying?
That is a yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So he takes you inside, and his wife is preparing food, and you can see he has 2 children. And I'm gonna go to Elliot and Steven now, and just before I go there though, do you guys have a rendezvous point that you agreed upon?
I imagine we would have set one, maybe for ruins of Snake Peak.
But we never actually anticipated surviving this plan.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, that guy, right, Supreme God Tongue's brother or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Has he stolen my wife?
Has he stolen your wife?
I'm just wondering how he knew that I was a bad husband, you know?
Oh.
What if?
That's the only
his wife,
explanation.
What if his wife and those 2 kids are really my wife and one of my kids?
I've never met your wife, so I couldn't. When we meet up, I won't be able to say either way.
It's a joke, anyways. My wife only left me a few months ago.
So,
Yeah.
And then he got
That
given
would be
birth
funny.
yet.
there's a display of combs inside the household when you get there.
Yeah, I think our rendezvous point should be the Emperor's throne room. Bucket.
So
There you go.
I'd say the ruins of Snake Peak seems kind of decent. No?
Again?
Snake Peek.
Well, I mean, just go there to rendezvous. Like, chances are the Empire probably isn't expecting us to go back there once it's destroyed.
Sure. Why the fuck not?
Sure.
So,
I mean, or they could be thinking that that's exactly where we'd go to if we didn't know that Snake Peak was destroyed.
That too. Yeah.
can you give me a 2d10 roll, Elliot?
Or thing. Add them together, yeah?
Yep.
9 and 6, 15.
Okay, and can you give me a survival roll? Whoever wants to do it, or whoever knows stuff.
I'll do it 3d10 and withholding from alcohol before I make this roll. I got a 9 at the highest.
Okay, all right, so you're fine. So you make it to Dalu, and you've been to Dalu, right? Before.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you need the map again, or are you comfortable navigating the city without the map?
I've got the map in the imager.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you mind just reposting the link to that quickly, Kenny?
You have to scroll down for it, but it's there.
Haha, I beat you.
Oh, goddamn. Okay. Yeah,
I think
I'll be ready.
are we in the era of the Demon Emperor at the moment? No. Era of the Glorious Emperor.
Glorious Emperor.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, I've got it. Where are we approaching from?
The south.
Okay. So we're coming from, like, where the river is, where the morning market and that kind of stuff is, yeah?
Yes, that's exactly where you're passing. Yeah, and in fact, there's probably still a morning market going on at this point.
Yeah. As we pass through the market, I'll casually, like, buy some wine and that kind of stuff as well.
Okay.
From my understanding, the Yao headquarters, is it broadcasted around, or is it something that I have to
No. It's definitely not. Though, you'd probably want to sort of ask around and find out the deal.
Okay. Whilst we're going around the market and maybe like picking up some, food and stuff, etc., I'll kind of like ask around a bit and see if I can find out about the Yao headquarters, and I won't be especially subtle about it.
Okay. What sort of people are you asking? Like the merchants, or are you asking like beggars, or?
Merchants and beggars, avoiding people who look like officials.
Okay, all right. So one of the merchants says, well, you might want to be quiet about that. What do you want with the Yao?
I intend to meet their leader.
The man sort of looks around and he says, what kind of, what for?
I'm not sure if it would be right for me to discuss it at this moment. It's rather sensitive information, but hopefully I intend to leave there without any sort of conflict. Either way, I'll flash. Well, I don't need to flash my badge because they're kind of sitting on my fucking.
Oh, that's right.
Already.
Okay.
I attached them on there.
All right. So he says, I think I know somebody that can help you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And
Do you want some wine?
He says, yeah. And what are you offering him?
See, I think like I've definitely got supplies of regular wine, like stuff that's nothing too special. I've got a few things of some nice wine. Does this guy look like a good merchant, or like wealthy person?
He looks like he does okay.
Okay. I will pass him a clay vessel of pear blossom wine after I take a swig out of it myself, and I'll pass it to him there.
All right. He takes a swig and he says why don't you follow me?
I nod and acquiesce.
All right. He takes you to a restaurant and gambling hall called the Pearl Dragon, and
Okay.
And you can see like a really rough looking woman walking around with some men. She's got like daggers strapped all over her, and she has definitely been in a number of fights. And he says, you want to talk to that lady?
I'll nod appreciatively. Okay. Thank you very much. Please keep the wine. It's a token of my appreciation. I'll look wistfully at the wine as I'm passing it away.
And what badges are you wearing exactly?
I am wearing a rank 4B emblem and a rank 8A emblem.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, two of them.
All right. And so you just walk right up to her?
Yeah.
All right. She's got, she's dressed in black. She kind of looks similar to the 87 Killers, actually. And her men are dressed in black. And she looks at you as you approach. And she nods.
I nod at her. I would like to meet your leader.
She points at your badges and she says, who did you kill?
2 people.
Why are you displaying those on your robes so prominently?
Take me to your leader, and I'll let him know.
She says, I don't have
Trust
a
me.
leader. I am my leader.
By this, does that mean that she is the person who I was sent to find?
No, she doesn't seem to understand who you're looking for.
Okay. I'll just I'll go up to her and I'll whisper, and she could probably smell the alcohol on my breath, right? I'll go, I'm looking for the leader of the Yao.
She says, if you put those badges away and you pay me 3 silver taels, I will give you an audience with him.
I shrug my shoulders and I'll like take my badges off of my uniform, my robes, and I'll just like put them into my sleeve or something like that. And then I'll take out 3 silver taels and pass them over to her. And I'll go, of course.
She points upstairs to a door and she says, go stay in one of the rooms up there. I will have him come to you.
I appreciate it. What is your name?
Sun Long.
Sun Long. I am Boris Drunken Sword.
She nods.
I'll go upstairs and I'll wait in the room. I'll be on my guard as well, just in case I'm ambushed in this room.
Okay. All right, so you hear somebody... well, do you want to make any preparations before he gets there, or are you...
I mean, as far as preparations go for Boris Drunken Sword, they're not especially major, with the exception of possibly summoning a Phantom Phoenix Sword.
Drunk.
And getting drunk, yeah.
Okay, so why don't you roll
but if
for that?
if I've summoned a Phantom Phoenix Sword beforehand, then it means that I'm prepared for combat, and I'm not sure if I want that to be the impression that I give first to this person. So I won't be preparing that. But I will have a porcelain vessel of plum wine, like, put out almost ceremonially in front of me, which I have not touched yet. I've been drinking from my regular sorghum wine and that kind of stuff, but that porcelain vesseled plum wine is, you know, slightly special.
All right, so you actually hear somebody announcing, Supreme Yao leader Zhang Yu, somewhere downstairs, and then you can hear footsteps up the up towards your chamber, and it sounds like a number of men are approaching, and then there's like
I'll stand up.
All right, the door opens, and this is let me see if this actually works. Yep, that's what he looks like. But basically, he's got the bottom portion of his face is missing, or the bottom portion of his mouth, and he's dressed in like lamellar armor and has all kinds of regalia. And he looks at you. He says, "You wish to see me?"
Indeed, I do. My name is Boris Drunken Sword. Do you know who I am?
You are a wanted man, Boris Drunken Sword, and apparently
Indeed,
you are a
that is
fool.
true. Pardon?
He says, and apparently you are a fool as well.
I've always been a fool, and that goes around in the rumours plenty, I'm sure. However, I do have reason behind my madness coming here today. And I know all too easily that it would be very, very easy for you to overpower me in this situation. Although, believe me, I would go down fighting. That being said, I feel as if what I've heard about you means that there is an inkling of a possibility of advance between the two of us. You see, from my story, I've always been a useless sort of character, a plain detriment to those around me. But in one instance where I decided that I would act without thinking of myself first, act to help out a friend who was being manipulated and bullied and threatened by the Empire, that I'd strike back against them, against this evil that they just so happily spread all the time.
Spit out your purpose.
Join us and defeat the Empire. We'll have no claim over you or your Yao afterwards. What you do is not my concern. I have no concern for taking over the Empire, and I don't think my compatriots do either. We just wish to depose this glorious Emperor.
He looks at you thoughtfully, and
I'll gesture to the wine, and I go, if you drink wine with me, then perhaps we could sort something out. If you reject the wine, then I see your intention.
he takes some wine.
I'll pour myself some as well, and I'll wait for him to deliberate whether to drink from it or not before I say anything.
I'm sorry?
I said I'll pour myself a glass of wine as well, right? A cup of wine, and I'll take it, but I won't drink from it yet. I'll wait for him to see if he drinks from it or not.
Okay, he drinks from his wine.
I'll drink from mine.
And he says it can be very difficult for Yao to turn against the Emperor, you know.
I would imagine the influence that he seems to have over your people, over those that he made, is strong. However, I've heard that you have a strong personality as well, and you need not confront the Emperor directly, you know? I mean, yourself and your Yao are his greatest tools, and if he was even just stripped of them temporarily, that would be a major damage to him and an opportunity that we could take to strike at his heart, you know? We need not implicate yourselves in these matters, or if you feel the need to help, you can fight on battles aside from the Emperor. All I ask is that you do your best so as to not provide him strength so he can crush us when we bring the fight to him.
He says the Emperor is surrounded at all times by thousands of Yao.
I know this. In our journeys, I've tried to find ways to manufacture swords that can kill Yao, and we do know a way to do it. If we can equip ourselves with some of these, then we can fight our way to the Emperor, to those who are still under his influence. But if the presence of these weapons scares you or worries you afterwards, we can promise you that we will dispose of them.
He says, what do I get at the end of all this?
Your sovereignty! You will be bound to no man. You're still under the Emperor's thumb, whether or not you like it at this moment. No matter what you do, your destiny is bound by him. What I'm saying to you is that you have the opportunity to break free, to be bound by nobody, and to decide your own destiny. Whether you become another monster or not is up to you. And I can't judge you for it. I've got plenty of bad stuff against my own name. But that's all that I want. And I'm sure that's all that you want. The ability to lead our lives without being meddled with from other powers that are completely untouchable, that you cannot bring into recompense.
He says, I will do what I can, but my abilities to control the Yao in the presence of the Emperor are limited.
I appreciate your assistance. It is a valiant thing to do.
He then says, but you have to keep good on your promise to us.
This I promise you. For you see, to create these weapons, we may even need your assistance. And if that is the case, then it would only be right for us to swear an oath that we would not turn these swords against you and your compatriots who are loyal to us. At the end of this affair, I would personally be held accountable to the collecting and disposal of these weapons.
He says, very well. I can agree to this.
Excellent. Myself and some of my other compatriots are trying to garner more support at this time for the Empire that has made a terrible strike of what forces we were accumulating. But this shall only be the kindling to the greatest bonfire that the Emperor has had lit under his feet. In the future, I shall send a message to you. But for now, I shall return to Snake Peak and see if my other compatriots have been equally successful. Thank you for your assistance. And I'll, give him a bow.
He bows to you and he says, when will we communicate next?
I cannot say for certain. It should take me... How long does it take to reach Snake Peak from here? A week or two?
About that. Let me just take a look here. You're in. Oh, you're actually pretty far. Let's see.
The Snake Peak the worst
2, 3,
meeting spot that we could decide on?
About eight
Yeah,
days
probably.
from 8 days from here. It's not
How
so
far away
bad.
is How far away is the Vermilion Tea House again?
The Vermilion Tea House is much closer and much more of a midpoint.
Why don't we just make that as our rendezvous? Because we were leaving from there in the first place.
And technically speaking, we're supposed to return to the Vermilion Tea House with Scholar Hahn and
yeah. Okay, that's
Okay.
best idea. So yeah, I'll return to there then. It should take me about 2 days to reach our rendezvous point, and hopefully my compatriots should arrive then as well. As soon as I get information, I shall divulge it to you, either by way of sending a messenger or by traveling in person.
Very well. He says, "I will take my leave, and I will meet you, or I will await your communication."
Thank you. I appreciate it, Mighty Yao.
He says, "Zhang."
Zhang. I'll clasp hands and respectful
Alright.
greeting and stuff.
They are really cold, his hands, and they kind of issue a slight black mist.
I'll just act as if I don't notice it at all, because
Okay.
I'm drunk anyways, so my extremities feel really warm. So,
All right, he leaves. Kenny, why don't we get back to you because you were still dealing with Scholar Hahn.
So I guess in my medical / poisoning knowledge, are there any poisons that can irreparably make someone simple-minded?
Irreparably? Yeah, probably. You'd probably have to concoct it yourself. You know what I mean? Like if you
Yeah.
make a, you could probably do something.
Like, because I've been collecting herbs like every time we're doing survival check. Like, is there any like, do I need anything special for it, or would what I have collected along the way be sufficient combined with all the other different types of poisons I have?
I think you have so much. Where do you want to do this?
just make a
first off?
shit mix of poisons and see what you get.
Well, probably in the wilderness, to be fair. Like before I hit Gaochun, like I'll find like a hill, like a cave or something, and like try to brew something.
Okay.
I summon the cauldron from my Dante, and like.
Well, you probably have like
fires come
at
out.
least some kind of clay cooking pot or something. Can you make a poisoning roll?
Composition? Find any relevant?
Yeah, composition is relevant here.
Yes. Ooh, I got a 10 at the highest.
All right, so yeah, and so what do you want this to do exactly?
In simple terms, I wanted to give someone brain damage to the point that they can barely function as a living being.
Okay, it has to be ingested for this to happen.
Okay.
Write this down. You can call it whatever you want, but the exposure rating is 3d10.
Hold on.
And I'm sorry. What was the exact effect again that you were looking for?
Mental retardation, basically. It's just like, I mean,
If I were to give an example of something that could do this, right? Aspirin medication or whatever, leading to blood thinning, leading to clots or whatever, like a stroke, basically, could lead to retardation stuff. With an actual poison being specifically designed to it, you can only assume that it would specifically try and constrict blood flow in the brain or something,
All right, so here's what I'm going to... this is somewhat tentative, Kenny, but the effect, if it works, is it will impose a permanent minus 2d10 penalty to all mental skills, and as well as reason. And I think that is a mental skill, though. And minus 4 to wits.
Alright.
Damn.
Would you
and
say it does
knowledge
anything?
skills. Knowledge skills will also take the.
But I guess in
Would
that
resolve have anything done to it?
I don't think so. I think this is more of a, you know, but
Mental capacity.
yeah,
type
this is
thing.
just an off the cuff sort of. This is what I'm assigning to it for now.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, because basically what I want to do is to capture Scholar Han alive, but make him unable to answer any questions.
I mean, that'll seriously inhibit his ability to function in a conversation like he normally would. Like if you're trying to outwit him in a conversation, if he's got a minus 2d10 penalty to mental skills, that's effectively gonna, that's gonna hinder him a lot.
Yeah. So we'll go
But-
with minus 2d10 mental skills and knowledge skills, and then minus how much to wits?
Minus 4 to wits.
Like I could just kill him outright, but I think this is more interesting.
So then, what would you like to do?
S- Sneak my way in
Okay, to where?
to Gauchen and see if I can see any like I don't know, maybe I'll I mean Gauchen is technically like
It's like a merchant town.
I know, but it's somewhere where we're very close to the base of our operations. So would it be fair to say I know roughly the layout of Gauchen already and like what sorts of places?
Yeah, you're probably familiar with this area.
Yeah, because it's literally like a day's journey from my turn. So, yeah, I'll sort of check out the places where people might stay and see if I see any hints of like guards or what like martial arts people like hanging out type of thing, or if I see Scholar Han himself like walking around.
All right, do you have any kind of survival city skill?
No, just wilderness.
Do you have places?
Also, no.
All right. Well, you remember the 87 killers, so I'm just gonna have you roll 2d10, just for the
Right.
purposes of,
I got a 9 and a 3, so 9 at the highest.
Okay.
Then.
All right. So so you sense a lot of there's a series of brothel boats in the area, and
All right.
that's definitely where like you would expect a lot of the martial heroes to be going at this moment.
Oh, but I think at some point we were told that Scholar Han was on the boat. We know that he met up with the general of the Flying Dragon Fortress on the boat. Because we saw him and we decided to not make any action. Or we decided not to do anything.
Yeah, but that was some time ago. That boat's
Yeah,
not
but
here.
Okay, that boat's not here. I'm gonna see if I can find a servant or something.
Okay.
And bribe them, I guess.
What kind, what sort of servant?
Um, or who would be wandering around the dock?
I mean, you can see, all kinds of people.
Yeah, maybe people who look like they'd be on the dock all day, loading and unloading stuff. Type.
So you
yeah.
see a porter. He's carrying clay vessels off of a ship.
Yeah. I'm gonna go up to him and say, hey.
Okay, he looks over at you. He says, "What do you want?"
I'll hand him 100 spades and say, can I ask you a few questions?
He looks at the money, he examines it, and he says, "Yes. What do you want to know?"
Have you seen a scholarly looking person with pock marks on his face, or whatever the general description of Scholar Han is?
He says, "Oh yeah, I saw that guy.
Is he still in Gaochun?
Yeah, he's in the brothel boat over there."
I'll nod and
He's
I'll
been
give him
really
another.
making a lot of ruckus too.
What's he been doing?
He seems to be enjoying himself.
Um. Um. I don't have any swimming skill. Otherwise, I would try and swim under the boat.
Just build a giant inn on the river by the boat.
Topple it onto the.
Fill it full of gunpowder and detonate it.
I'll ask like, are there any other people around him normally?
Well, there were lots of pretty ladies around him.
And I'll vaguely describe Silver Chrysanthemum.
He says, "I haven't seen anybody that meets that description. No."
I'll nod and I'll hand him another hundreds. I guess it's this sort of conversation where I've sort of like pulled him to a side, like out of sight type of thing, to question him and not standing in public. I'll hand him another 100 spades and say, for your sake, I would pretend that this conversation never happened.
He nods and he just kind of looks like, you know, he doesn't recognize you and just walks off in another direction.
A practiced hand at this. So are these boats
Disguise
like...
yourself as a brothel.
Yeah. I guess I can before we send them off. I'll ask him like, does he know where I could get myself a set of servants' clothing?
He says, "Oh, I can easily get you some servants' clothing for a small price."
I'll nod and say, sure. How much?
12 spades.
I just gave you 200 spades.
He's just trying to make a little more.
I'll give him 12. I'm not going to mark it down because I like my round numbers, but I give him 12 spades.
All right. He runs into a nearby boat and he brings out a set of clothes for you.
All right. I'll get change into the servants' clothing, and I'll ask it. Do they do cooking on ship, or do they bring the food from outside?
It depends on the boat, but I think the one he's on, they do the cooking there.
I'll nod and say, yeah, as you were then. You never saw me. I'll sneak away and wait until dark or whatever.
Okay. And then what are you gonna do?
Try and sneak on the boat, but I don't know how feasible that is.
Well, how do you want to sneak on it? Like creep into it, or just act like you're a servant on the boat?
Well, I want to sort of act like I'm a servant heading towards the boat, but I want to use like crawling tiger to hang on to like on a blind spot and wait until. Do the boats go out, or do they just like float along all day?
No, they're just in the canal, and they're actually kind of linked by, like a lot of them are interlocked. So like they have a bunch of boats linked together, and they kind of have like a makeshift portable brothel.
I mean, if the boat is linked, then I can sort of try crawling tigering my way, stealthily across to Scholar Han's boat and try and sneak into the kitchen area.
Okay, all right. So why don't you make your roll for crawling tiger? What does that set your stealth as?
Well, my stuff is 10 anyway.
But doesn't that give you additional stealth stuff?
Oh, if I do it cathartically,
only to detection by sound.
Yeah. So I'll do that cathartically then. I got 2 8s.
2 8s. All right. And so, what's the effect of cathartic? What?
I'm completely silent as I move, and minus 1d10 penalty to any efforts to detect me when sound is relevant.
Okay.
Plus I also have 10 stealth.
Okay. All right. So nobody seems to see you, and you make it into the kitchen.
So the poison I've made, do I know if it degrades on heat?
If it were... No, you've probably made it so that it's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
it's probably ideally suited for wine, is what I would be guessing.
Find the sort of most accessible. Are there any like wine? Is there any wine? Are there any wine vats in the kitchen?
Oh yeah.
All of them looking roughly the same.
Well, they basically have 2 barrels, and it looks like they're just dipping into them for wines, and one of them looks like it's the higher quality.
Based on my traveling with Boris Shock and Sword, I can now differentiate between the qualities of wine. Find the higher quality. Oh, I guess poison the higher quality one.
Okay.
And also sleeping drug the lower quality one, because why the hell not?
Okay.
And find some place to hide.
Oh, can you make a poisoning roll?
Yeah. Performance.
Yep.
4d10. Oh. Got 9s at the highest.
All right, so...
Do I need to do it for both, or just the one for both?
The one that matters.
Yeah.
All right, so then I'm just going to check this. All right. Okay. All right, so you're just going to do that and then wait?
Yeah.
All right, so eventually, you do start hearing commotion throughout the ship. You hear people screaming and stumbling.
Where'd my intelligence go? Where'd my intelligence
go? It's
go?
more of just. I'm assuming there's a physical side to the
Is he
voice.
foaming at the mouth or whatever?
Oh no, I'm dubbed now.
Well, I'm still dressed in servant's clothing, so I'm gonna run into this direction of screaming and go, "What's going on? What's going on?"
All right. Okay. So one of the women says I don't know, somebody's been poisoning people on the ship, I think.
What? And I'll be like, so, who would do such a thing? I'm where is it? Let me go take a look.
She brings you into Scholar Han's chamber, and he's on the ground, and he just looks up at you, and like a look of confusion passes over his face, and he says you.
Yes, I'm here to help you, I'll say. And I was like, just stand back, everyone. I'm going to carry him and find the nearest doctor. Just pick him up.
All right, hold on. I'm giving him rolls to see if he's capable of doing things. All right. He screams, "No!" And a bunch of men emerge from hidden compartments in his bedroom.
Oh yeah, the Chang-Chi thing. People hiding behind.
No. But he's really not. He's not to get like it was obviously a struggle for him to even do that. And here's the thing though: the men all look like 87 killers. They're all dressed in the 87 killer outfits, and they're all swinging devices that look like flying guillotines to you.
Oh, nice.
And what do you want to do?
Get his head chopped off.
Do I still have any of that smoke concoction? Yes, I still have smoke dust from that one time we used it. Oh! I will smoke dust the whole thing and pick up Scholar Han.
Okay.
I don't know. When did we last use the smoke dust?
When we were trying to escape from, I think it was when we attacked the camp and we were trying to escape.
So
Oh,
make
when
an
we were
atta-
escaping-
make
we
an
were
attack
escaping on a
roll
wagon,
for the
weren't we?
smoke dust.
What was that? Sorry, Brendan.
Make an attack roll for the smoke dust.
Can I use my poisoning skill to apply the smoke dust?
Yeah, that's fine.
I shall give them the performance of a lifetime then. 10 at the highest.
All right. Okay, so the whole room fills with smoke, and you're just grabbing Scholar Han and running.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So make a speed roll for me.
Oh boy. 9 at the highest. 7.
All right. All right. So you get into the streets with Scholar Han, and he's looking like really confused and out of it, and like he's trying to think of what to do.
Can I knock him out?
Yeah, you can knock him out. All right. And as you do that, you can see that one of the guys with the guillotines is up on the edge of the boat coming after you.
And I'm just gonna
Before you
keep
knock
looking.
him out, you should tell him that you're the one who scarred his face.
I'm just gonna book it.
Okay. Make a speed roll.
I got an 8 and a 3.
All right. All right. So you gain you like duck into various alleys and things like that. Can you make another speed roll?
Are we out? Oh, we're not out of the city yet, are we? I got a 9 and a 4.
All right. So as you're making your way to out of the city, you feel like you were getting this guy off your tail, but he kind of starts catching up to you, and I need another speed roll.
Are we out yet, or we're still in the city?
You're almost out of the city.
Okay. Because I think once we're in the wilderness, I have a better chance of shaking him. I got 1 and a 9.
All right. Okay.
Okay
All right.
with
He
a
got
9.
a 10.
Oh god.
So he's going to foolishly use it to make his attack. All right. What's your evade?
5.
All right. This guillotine just misses you, Kenny. Make another speed roll, unless you want to engage him.
No. No. I got a 6 and a 1.
All right. So he attacks you again. He catches up.
Yeah.
But he gets a 1, and so he misses you. Give me another speed roll.
Are we wilderness yet? Can
Yeah,
I
you're
use my
getting
survival?
you're getting into the woods now.
Can I sort of use the wilderness to my advantage then, like ducking around trees and
Yeah,
like?
that's fine. That's fine. We can turn this into opposing wilderness rolls.
I got a 10 at the highest.
All right. You easily escape.
That was pretty interesting.
All right. So are you guys all meeting at a rendezvous point at the Vermilion Tea House? Is that the?
That is
Yeah.
true, but Dalfang hasn't completed his mission yet.
Yeah, I'm going to be there a lot later.
Well, yeah, is Dalfang's going to the north, right? Or are we going to go
way
together,
up north.
together
Yeah.
or are
Oh.
you listening to him by himself?
I mean, or we could all go up together. I mean, that's fine.
We could send Dalfang by himself to try and swing.
Just going to say, sending me by myself is a terrible idea because I have no pips in wilderness.
And he's
Why don't
got
we send him
one leg.
himself?
Don't forget that he's the guy with
Oh
one
yeah,
leg.
you've
in
only
the
got one leg.
Yeah, but I've got adaptation of the name.
Everybody
so
else
it's
did fine on their own. We can't keep holding his hand the whole fucking adventure, can we? Send him off on his own, and if he dies, he dies. We'll go as a party. I think we've actually managed to accomplish what we wanted to with splitting the party.
And before I come back as just like the Black Knight from Holy Grail.
So
I'll bite your legs off.
all right. Can I get wilderness rolls from everybody then?
Yep, I'll do R1 for myself and Dalfang. I got a 10.
All right.
I got 6.
Okay.
I got an 8.
All right. So you guys all make it to the Vermilion Tea House, and I'll assume you all meet up. Just give me 1 second.
You're
You guys
alive!
can,
I
I
never
don't-
doubted you for a moment.
That was, Yeah, I wasn't expecting to be able to get in and out like that. I didn't expect the screaming to happen either, to be honest.
It's what I was saying beforehand. When we aggress, right? When we do stuff that's completely unexpected, especially if we're willing to do something frankly suicidal, right? We can pull stuff off against the odds, and then it's drastically good. It's a gamble, and it's got a high payout.
I didn't have the hardest mission. I can't feel like I did something amazing.
I think you were the most integral part of this operation.
Well, I think you accomplished the most physical, like actual, like
tangible goal.
Yeah. It's tangible. Like for me, I don't know if Scholar Han is going to be like, it was all them.
Yeah. It's it's the.
Kenny,
the result
Kenny,
and the difficulty
Kenny,
are different things.
You've lowered his wits.
Yeah.
Right.
We just need to.
Provided that she doesn't interrogate him one-on-one, right? And when you're traveling, you can just keep on trying to indoctrinate him, right? Just take advantage of his lowered wits to try and install your own messages whilst you're traveling the 2 days.
That's a good idea. I'm on the way. I want to check if there's any way for him to recover, because this is the first time I've used this poison, and I don't know if what the effects are. So I'm taking a scholarly approach here to seeing what the effects of the poison are.
Okay, make a medicine roll.
Can I do a poison for this? I'll do a medicine roll for this. Although I think I should probably up my medicine to 3d10, given how often I use it now. I'm going to spend 10 XP to upgrade my poison. My medicine up to 3d10. 10, a 2, and a 1. So I'm glad that I spent that 10 XP.
So you think, this is probably a permanent condition, barring any really exceptional, radical treatment that somebody, tries to do. Like secret manual level treatment,
Yeah. I'm going to sort of converse with him when he wakes up as well. Can I use sort of deception to try and beguile him into believing a different version of the events that happened? Like ask him repeatedly what happened in Mai Chun, not Mai Chun, in Dao Shu. And
make a deception roll. Make a deception roll.
Well, you killed Constable Bai.
What do you want? What do you want to try to tell
Or is
him?
that just how you've been convincing yourself out of this, man?
That he launched the attack knowing full well that Constable Bai was going to be sacrificed in the ensuing carnage, and that he knew and that he expected and that he was the person responsible for the explosives.
Okay, make a roll. Make a roll. That's a pretty tall order.
Yeah.
Even for him.
So 10 and a 3. So I'm just going...
Okay, so what you eventually convince him of is that, he seems to like that because it makes him seem like the smarter person. So he says, yeah, that sounds like something I would have come up with.
Adding a bit of persuasion. Like, you're always the smarter one among the 3 of us back in Daoshu when we were young.
And you can see the struggle on his face every time he has to think. He's just like, it's tiring for him. And, he nods his head and he sort of, goes and lays down and rests after the conversation.
And the journey continues back to the
I honestly am feeling like a dark Sith Lord or something, bringing this all together, Excellent. Ultimate power!
And you all make it to the Vermilion Bird Tea House. Oh, in fact, hold on here. I have a map of the Vermilion Bird Tea House. It's a little bit...
Is it new?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, in fact, 2 of you die.
That's a preview of the map. It's not the full map.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, looks fancy.
It's pretty fancy. When you say tea house, this is not what I usually think of.
This is a tea mansion.
That honestly looks incredible.
So,
Yeah, artist did a really good job on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
But
was,
I mean, just the different ways that like all the different aspects of it kind of interact with each other, like the river that's going through, and the waves using space there. It looks like a really fleshed out place. Yeah, very nice.
and so what do you guys do when you get there?
I suppose we'll rendezvous.
Oh, man.
Oh no!
Just
We've
lost it.
we've lost our Dark Lord.
Hold on, let's see if we can bring
I
it
don't
back
know what
in
to do now.
at this crucial moment.
Sorry, my
That's okay.
my Skype just like broke for a second.
The timing was quite perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright.
So I think if we rendezvous outside of there and just like get our stories together just before we go in there.
I'm not even gonna give like a proper explanation. I'm just gonna say like he had a bad reaction to some poison I tried to use on him.
So, all right. So, are you guys going to enter the tea house?
Yep.
Well, I'll let them know, but I had success with the Owl's leader, Jan, I think his name was. I'll go. He said that he would be willing to offer us help, including in the manufacture of Yao killing weapons. However, I suggested that we should potentially, after this effort is over, gather up these Yao killing weapons we've made and give them to him so that we can't use them against him. Does that sound alright? I mean, we kind of need their help to make the swords anyways,
Yeah, if we ever need to go against them, we can always make more.
Exactly, like, we know the way to make it, they can't take that away from us. But these specific weapons that they've helped us make, I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't want them used against them in the future. So I said I would personally make sure that we return them all to them once this is all over. How did it go for you, Ping?
How did things go? He doesn't like you very much. I'll say that. But he's willing to help the cause.
I'll nod my head and then I'll just go, yeah, I've not really given many people much reason to like me, but as long as he's on the good fight side, then that's fine.
That's all we can hope for.
So, from what I gather, we've succeeded in our endeavours.
Yeah.
Let's hope it doesn't blow up in our face, eh?
I even still have some of that pork left if anyone wants some.
I'll just get some more from him there. I'll walk in.
Put it back in my pocket.
All right. They recognize you and they bring you to one of the corner chambers, and within moments, Hua Yin returns, and she says, "I was expecting you to just flee. I didn't think that you would stay true to your word."
Really? We could have gone.
I'll just chime in and say, yeah, we have done wrong things in the past, but we refuse to take credit for something that we did not do.
So she says,
Such integrity.
So she says, "So this is the killer then?"
He is the mastermind behind everything. Unfortunately, he had a bad reaction with the poison that I was trying to use to subdue him.
He looks
But he
at
is-
her, and he says, "It was all me." And she sort of looks surprised. And
I'll go, that's just like you, you stuck-up arsehole. You're always like saying you're superior and so good at stuff.
Ever since we were kids.
she says, "Hold him
I
for
want
me,
nothing.
then."
Gladly.
I'll hold him.
All right. Can you make a grapple roll, Kenny, or any relevant?
Grapple. No. I can tie him. I can bind him with a fly whisk if that counts.
I've got 1 in grapple.
Oh yeah, you know it.
I got 3.
All right, so he kind of puts up a struggle just because he doesn't like being touched by you guys, and he stands up and he tries to back away.
I'll kick him in the back of the knee, but I can't do that.
She looks at you again. She says, "I told you to restrain him."
I can't do grapple, so I won't try that.
I'll try again. I got 10.
Woo!
All right, so he's a little easy. You know, now he's much more manageable. All right, she's just gonna throw her daggers at him.
Please don't miss. Please don't miss. Please don't miss.
But daggers are such low wounding weapons. But she basically does storming daggers on him. You know, like
Please don't miss. Please don't miss. Please don't
she
miss.
fills him with like, you know, I have to see actually what the cap is. But whatever it is, it's enough because you know it exceeds his. But
He's basically defense.
yeah, she just a slew of daggers go through him, and he collapses.
Excellent.
She nods to you and she says, "Thank you for letting me get vengeance for my departed son.
And he
It's
can't.
I'll
wrong to
bounce like
accuse you."
Oh, no, you know what? There are so many misconceptions about me and true bad stories. I mean, honestly, my character has been drugged through the mud by myself and everybody else for so many years already. So don't worry about it. It's an easy mistake to make. I'm an asshole. So, you know, there's no harm. I'm not dead, you know?
This piece of scum's been slandering me for years. I spit on his corpse.
I'm gonna take like one of the daggers and like cut his heart out.
She says, "What did you do that for?"
I'll just shrug and say, do I know how the ritual to? We don't know how Yao are made, but I'll just say,
I'll just go, he killed his father.
She nods. She says that you may claim the body.
I'll burn his heart in like the fireplace if there is one or whatever.
She says, "You can do what you want with the body. I don't care." And she leaves.
Oh, not that. I'll go, wait, lady, please. You said before, if we helped you with this, you may be willing to align yourself with us against the Empire, like we discussed before.
She says, "I am willing, yes."
Then we still have one more mission to do before we have consolidated what we have at the moment, and before we can start making our final preparations to assault the Emperor. So, when the time comes, can we rendezvous here with those who have recruited to help us?
She says, where are you currently residing?"
I mean, we have no place of residence at the moment. For a while, we were at Snake Peak, but as you have said, it has been compromised, and so we cannot stay there. But we intend to travel north to try and convince the general to betray the Emperor.
"I do not wish for the tea house to be vulnerable to attack."
That is, of course, reasonable.
She says, "Pick a location for a rendezvous point, and I will send my other son to communicate on my behalf with you."
Okay, thank you. See, rendezvous point. Where do we think would be good?
I mean, the Fey Beast Rice Shop is kind of where this all started, right? So if we're gonna make a rendezvous, then I think River Village.
Is that close to where the Empire is? Because we kind of want to do like a march from there. Do you know what I mean?
Fan is where the Tower of Yao thing is, right?
What was that?
If
Fan
is where all the Yao hearts are kept. Or
yeah, and
whatever.
the statue of the Bold King.
Okay.
And the capital is Nansun, which is northeast of Tongan.
Okay.
So we're not that far, really. It's I don't know how many days it is, but like 4 days from Tongan. Would you say, Brendan?
4 days from Tungon to where?
To farm.
Nansun.
About 4 or 5
Nansun's
days.
the capital,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, 4 or
Yep.
5 days.
So, yeah, Nansun is to the east of us then, isn't it?
Not quite, but yes.
Okay.
Because we're sort of just above. We're basically at Tongan, basically. You can consider us.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe along the northern base of Mount Dal, if there's a rendezvous point that we could like make around there.
Well, Shenyu Temple.
Or, pardon?
Well, you probably. I mean,
We could just say meet in Tongan, right? I mean, because isn't that? Yeah, that's.
well, River Village would have been a much safer bet than Tungon, probably.
Okay,
In
then yeah,
terms of-
River Village. River Village. That makes sense.
Because Tungon, you
Yeah.
kind of know that there's a presence there of you've had to sneak in and out. River Village was fairly easy. All right, and so where are you going from here?
Yeah, well, I guess our next step would be to try and convince the Northern General to do something.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we have a short amount of time, so I'm just gonna kind of skip ahead to you guys reaching that point.
Okay.
Were you guys gonna take a boat?
Yeah.
All right, so that's.
We can just say that I'm covering the cost of it.
So it's about an 8-day trip from where you guys are.
Okay.
Alright,
Would a silver tail suffice for all of us and some
Yeah.
wine and stuff?
yeah.
Yeah, I'll make sure to just pay a silver tail and like make sure we've got comfortable, good, secure lodgings for our travel.
Okay. And
Roll on the weather table. Do you run into a typhoon on the sea?
all right, so you guys are going to Beyond You Prefecture. All right. Okay. You ultimately need to get to Jianfu. All right. So can I get a survival roll?
Who's going to do it? I think Kenny's probably the best for it because you've got 3D10 Wilderness now as well, don't you?
Yeah, I've got a 3D10 and I don't drink. So
Yeah, exactly.
Can I find any like interesting northern herbs while I'm here? Just looking around.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, and it's
But I got 8 on survival roll.
okay. It's quite a bit colder up here. All right, so you make it to Jianfu, and you know it's in a really rocky area. You know the city is built into a mountain, and how do you want to go about introducing yourself to this general and finding him?
I imagine Boris Sword wants to just go up to the encampment and be like, I want to speak to the general.
I mean, that's Boris Drunken Sword's tact, but he'd
Yeah.
probably defer to you in this situation.
Did we get something from what's her face? From Yu Huan token to say that we come from her.
From
Lady Chen, is that her name? Or Yu Huan?
Yeah.
oh yeah
I-
you did yeah I'm sorry, it just took me a second. Yes.
So I guess we could ask a messenger to pass that along with like a meeting point to speak with the general.
Okay, all right. So just outside of the city, you see that there's a fortress, and you know, so I mean, that's presumably where the general is. If you want to, connect.
We'll have a letter and we'll seal a letter and say, yeah, we'll meet us I don't know. Are there any notable natural landmarks around the area that we can say meet us here?
I mean, it's a really big rock over here, and a real, you could, that you see a very, number of caves, and there is a small lake a little bit to the north.
Yeah, that's perfect. We'll meet by the lake at a certain time, and bring only your most trusted of men.
Okay. All right, and then what do you want to do when you get to the lake?
We'll fish the time away and do a ride. So.
Okay. All right, so later that evening, a man arrives on horseback, and he's accompanied by someone who looks like one of his commanders, but the guy is really tall and doesn't look like he's from the Empire. He looks like he's from the north. And he nods to you.
Bowing, greeting again. Greetings. You must be General Yukong. General Yu, I presume.
Yes, who are you?
Who are we? Do we introduce ourselves as the killers of Daoshu, the wanted, but no. We were sent by Lady Yu Huan to discuss a matter with you.
And I'm sorry, did you put the token in the letter, or did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
We put.
Okay. He says, "How is pure consort Yu Huan?"
Pure consort. She looks really pure. She's given birth already. She is as well as she could be, living in the wilderness, and yet still calling for the lifestyle of someone who lives in the palace.
Do you have a message from her?
More like an agreement, and I'll say, we have tired of the Emperor's evil ways, tyrannical ways, and wanted to fend for ourselves. We were looking for allies to aid in the cause, and Lady Yu Huan has said that she would help us, and she sent us to speak with you.
Why did she think that you should speak with me?
Well, this concerns the happiness of your family, shall we say. I mean, do you really want, your lover and your child to grow up in a world ruled by the glorious Emperor, hiding out in the middle of the woods with no companions except the servants who labor for their daily needs?
He says, "No, of course not."
And I'll say, Lady Yu Huan has but one wish: to be reunited with the one she loves and to live away from the world of political intrigues and backstabbing and treachery.
So she wants me to abandon my post and return to her, is that it?
That is up to you. What she just wants a simple life. But I understand that you are a man of great prowess and great foresight and leadership, and it would not be easy for you to give up everything and live the life of a hermit. I do have a suggestion for you that can both appease Lady Yu Huan, and also allow you to prepare for a glorious future for your descendants.
What is your suggestion?
It is simple. She just wants to live away from the city and away from politics. You can simply move to a slightly remote location and start your own sect. You can raise your child there in martial arts and in the way of rulers. I don't know, something along those lines.
The Emperor
So
will
that-
send his Yao after me.
Not if the Emperor were dead. And we have already convinced. Is it Godface Shao? Is that the one we spoke to?
Yeah.
We have already convinced Godface Shao to aid us in the
Zhang,
cause.
sorry.
Shang. And you may know that Godface Shang bears no love for the Emperor. And while he may not directly fight against the Emperor, he has promised to weaken the presence of the Yao as much as possible so that we have a chance to strike at the Emperor himself. Does the Emperor have any children? Do we know?
Oh, he has many children.
Okay.
He says, you would kill the Emperor yourself?
Yes.
He says, well, the difficulty is the Emperor and the Senior Grand Counselor are linked. They cannot be killed apart from each other. They must be killed at the same time.
Senior Grand Counselor. Is that a famous person?
Yeah, that's sort of the chief advisor of the Empire.
Indeed, that will require some planning.
He says my
Is the chief-
information comes from Yuhan herself.
She had not disclosed such information to us yet because she wanted us to come speak and convince you first. If you will be willing to temporarily set aside any ambitions you have and instead prepare a future for your child so that one day he may rise to take the world by storm, then she would give us the information we need to succeed.
He says, so, but it's. He says very well.
Can
I will.
Can I just pipe up something quickly?
Yeah.
I'll just say, none in our party have aspirations to the Empire or of attaining any positions, and I mean none in our compatriots.
Then what are you doing this for? What do you want?
What we want is the ability to live our lives without the cruel dictatorship of this glorious Emperor. Living under the yoke of glorious rulers can be a good life. It's just that this one isn't. We need change, and it will never happen with this current one unless we take it with our own hands. This could open up a path to your family for generations if you so wanted it to be. Either way, I'll just let you know that if you were to try and expand in that direction, none amongst us would have any quandary with it.
And I'll add
You would not object to me seizing power? He says you would not object to me seizing power?
If that is your wish, although, as
I
Lady
say,
Yu
what
Huan-
do I care? As long as I can find my wife and get her to rub my feet.
That might be your biggest adventure.
That's my goal.
Earlier.
That is my most grand in life. I've got to prove that I'm useful and that I'm capable by killing the Emperor, so that she can rub my feet.
And
I
I'll
don't
just say,
think she'll ever do that.
yeah, I'll just say, and the Emperor calls the death of our fathers, and I'll point to Daofeng and myself. Consider from our point of view, this is purely an act of vengeance and vindication.
He says, we will need to remove them both at the same time. Would you?
Does that have to be at exactly the same time?
I don't know the specifics of how it works, but I would like the timing to be as close as possible. I would say the day and the hour should be the same.
Are they humans?
Yes, it's some sort of magic that the Senior Grand Counselor has used.
If they are humans, then they have weaknesses. They need to eat, they need to breathe, they need blood to flow in their body. These things are very easily resolved, given the opportunity.
Well, the Emperor has attained some sort of longevity.
Regardless, we shall strike him down.
To be fair, I don't even know why we need the general's help. Like, we're about to try and assassin. Like, are we gonna like see if we can draw?
What's the best way to assassinate somebody when they're distracted by something else? Say,
So what we
a
need
potential
is
rebellion from a general commanding a large army that was his own.
But the thing is that there are other
launches a
generals.
force attack.
No, but there are other generals between. There are many other generals between him and between. Like, I think there's 2 other generals between Bian Yu and like Nansun.
He says, "But I command the largest force."
Okay, so we need you to make suspicious movements in order to draw out some of the Emperor's forces. The weaker is that the defenses around the capital and around the Emperor, the more chance we have of succeeding in assassinating him.
He says, I could get the Yan commander to join with me, and we could take 160,000 men against the city."
Yan, where's the
Horus
Yan?
Drunken Sword is bristling with eager anticipation at this suggestion. It's almost as if that is causing him to feel some awe for this general. Not the fact that he can mobilize that, but just the fact that this small suggestion suddenly turns into a massive army at the gates. Oh yeah,
Attacking this capital city.
it's happening. .tm.
Yeah. I mean, yes, that's fine, but we'll need to know to do the Grand Chancellor and the Emperor stay in Nansun at the same time.
No, the Senior Grand Counselor is at Snake Peak building a temple.
Why is he at Snake Peak? I'll
You can ask
They're
him if
right
you
by
want.
each other.
I don't know. Why? Or I'll just say Snake Peak used to be our base of operations. We had gathered martial heroes there
Yes.
before whatever happened.
He said the ground was consecrated, he said. I believe they want to build a temple to the Demon Emperor there.
Perhaps Saffron Tigress may still be in the area.
No, she's
We
in
can lead.
Banyans. I think.
Pardon?
She's in the Banyans.
Oh, is she in the Banyans?
Yeah,
Okay.
she left.
And we
supposedly.
can't get a message to her or something.
We know she left with the sect people. I can't remember what sect is.
And he's working with Bonebreaker sect.
Sect. I mean, only our allies at Snake Peak were affected, right? So the Longmar Hall were okay with helping us, and the Southwind Manor, I think, were okay with helping.
Blue Orchid Manor or something.
And also the Blue Wind Manor, I think, wanted to help or something like that. Iron God Monk's dead, right?
I believe he is dead, but I have to double check that.
Because that means we can like ignore the whole thing about my master. It's perfectly okay. Just like brush it under the carpet. Ouija,
Yeah, he's
about him.
Is he dead? I don't know if he is. He's not on my list of the dead.
MIA, but
Yeah.
safe to say the status unknown. Okay. And we have support from, for what it's worth, the Celestial Plume Masters or something, right?
Yes.
Vague promises of help. And then there's also the nature-loving monks, courtesy of Ping.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I can probably help people gain access to the Imperial Palace. And I know a thing or two about the security measures.
I just remembered something because we were talking about sects. I just want to clarify. I did send a letter explaining that I wasn't myself and that they weren't indebted to me, to that sect of people who I made like basically pledge allegiance to before, right?
The nun from the south there?
Yeah, I'm pretty
believe-
sure I
yeah.
sent them a letter saying, real sorry about that. I wasn't myself. You
I
know?
think that rings a bell, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, because otherwise I could have always tried to call in the life debt with them to like get them to help. But I think that would be...
I think you said that
pretty-
to everyone you killed or accidentally murdered.
Yeah, I mean...
Manslaughter, shall we say? Manslaughter charges.
Yeah. I was up for a whole week writing letters. But, no, I was going to say, otherwise I could have tried to, like, strong-arm them into it, though that is a pretty, dark thing to do. But, no, I think don't need to do that.
We forgot the very important Sun Mai. Is it Sun Mai?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you...
Ping's master in name.
So why don't we organise the day of our assault from here, right? The day that we want this all to happen. Why don't we try and charter like an express message from Chief Al, like over the sea, okay, and then to like the river of the swarming, through the Yaoyun Sea, that river there towards like the Banyan region there, and see if we can get a message to Saffron Tigris to gather whatever forces you can and to assault Snake Peak with us, with whoever we can send there on this day of assault. If we do that, then we can possibly get Saffron Tigris to come from the south to attack Snake Peak with whoever we send there, because we'll probably split the party to get like some people fighting at Snake Peak and to get some people fighting at Fan.
Yeah.
So
Nansun, right? I didn't know that we need to go to farm because we have the Yao's help technically already, so we don't need to.
Well,
Unless we want to craft the Yao slaying weapons.
Well, how about this? It's 6:45, so we should be ending soon, anyways. Rather than come up with the plan and then forget the plan between now and next session.
Why don't we come up with a plan next session?
I think so. Yeah. So all we need to know is that you guys are, with General Yukong by that lake, and that
we've succeeded in all 4 of our side quests somehow.
We did all of them.